What is up, everybody, and welcome to another night of the Thursday Night Rundown. Hope you guys are doing well. We're almost there. It's almost Friday. It's one of my favorite days of the week because normally Fridays for me are pretty easy. Knock on wood, now tomorrow's going to suck. But hey, it is what it is. It's been a great week. Got a lot of funny things and some good things to talk about. A lot of things to laugh at, which is always my favorite thing to do because if you can't laugh at it, the only other thing is to cry, and you might as well laugh and have a good time. So hope you guys are all doing well. Looks like we have a lot of people here in the chat already. And I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you hanging out. We got David, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Cajun Corey's here. Scott, hope you're doing well, bud. We got Night Ronan here. We got Candeezy. I hope you all are doing great and had a great week. Just so you guys know, I got the PC in today. I got it in earlier this afternoon. I got it set up, streaming now. So luckily, everything should be running well and everything should work and everything should be running super smooth. So I'm excited. I got a lot of work to do still tomorrow to set up stuff for making videos and whatnot. Raker 8, what's up, man? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Glad you could make the stream. We got a lot of good things to talk about this tonight. I'm pretty excited about it. We're going to talk about Peter Pansexual and the Wendy trailer. That's going to be hilarious. It's so funny. It's so bad, but hey, that's Disney for you. Can't really blame them at this point. This is just what they do. Then we're going to talk about some Ant-Man stuff. Again, I haven't seen it, but the couple articles that I saw and this little meltdown that the writer had, I thought was really interesting and kind of gives you an idea of what we're dealing with when it comes to the people who write Marvel and all those other horrible movies that they've been putting out. And then everybody's favorite topic, we have some Star Wars to discuss. Not only do we have the in my opinion, really bad episode of Mandalorian season 3, but a couple other things that have popped up that, really just, I don't know, it shouldn't surprise you where things are at in Star Wars when you read this kind of stuff. But here we are. We're going to go over it. We're going to laugh at it. And again, for those that may be watching this on a replay or stop by or whatever the case may be, if you enjoy Star Wars still, that's okay. I laugh at it because I enjoy laughing at it. But if you enjoy it, no harm, no foul. I want people to enjoy it. I wish that I could. I wish that I could have enjoyed The Mandalorian much more than I did. But unfortunately, I didn't. My review's out. So after the stream, if you haven't checked it out and you've wanted to see my overall thoughts in the video, I recommend you checking that out. But Candy says, I was just on Steam looking for a game to play. Yes, that's one of my first things once I get everything set up and my OBS running so I can record videos and get my editing software is I'm going to look up some good video games to stream. So I got a couple of things I need to collect, but yeah, and purchase for the PC and whatnot. But I will definitely be streaming some video games in the future. So I just got to get some things to look up and see what I want to play. So I know there's a lot of games I've been wanting to play for a very long time. So I'm going to have a lot of options. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Raker said, just woke up in the middle of the night. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. It's 9 p.m. Eastern here. It's Thursday night. Tomorrow's Friday. Like I said, sliding headfirst into the weekend like Pete Rose back in the day. So I'm excited. And like I said, I got the gaming PC to mess with for most of the weekend. So that'll be fun, kind of fine-tuning a lot of it. It took me a minute earlier to get everything set up, but I'm excited. And I appreciate you all that have supported the channel, watched and everything. Like I said, every little bit helped. So I do appreciate it. Raker says, I am black-pilled. So, yeah, I think a lot of us are black-pilled when it comes to The Mandalorian. Bobby said, I heard this was the first writing credit for a movie, and they're expecting him to do the next Avengers. With what the next Avengers looks like, I'm not really surprised. And I just think all of this stuff is really going downhill. We heard about the Marvels getting pushed back, and that's because of test screenings. Well, we'll get into that here in a little bit. That's going to be another topic we're going to talk about, but Scott Davis says, pretty sad when the latest Bad Batch episode upstaged. I heard that. Now I've stopped watching Bad Batch for I've watched maybe 2 episodes of the first season. And then once they introduced that little annoying girl, I can't think of her name, Omega, that's what it was, on that accent too. Dear God, yeah. Once they introduced her and I realized she was taking over the show, I was like, I'm out. I'm not watching this. I don't have the time. There's too many good shows I want to watch and too many other reviews that I want to do. Like, for example, Soylent Green. I'm working on that review. That'll be out soon for members only. Stuff like that. I would rather watch that stuff than this because it's just not good. So, yeah, I have a lot of people. I was surprised when I did the Mando review. I didn't trash it too hard, but I'm honest as always, and I stay. I'm not going to just trash it to trash. And I'm going to be honest and give it the pros and cons where it's at. And I haven't gotten a lot of hate from the usual suspects. I usually expect the Star Wars shills that are out there that eat up everything to, call me every name in the book, and haven't gotten there yet. So maybe just hasn't reached them yet. But I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't impressed. What's up, Zach? Hope you're doing well, man. Glad you could be here and hanging out with us for a little bit. Scott says, as a Reds fan, I appreciate the Pete Rose comment. It's funny. I was just watching old school wrestling from back in the day. It was WrestleMania 14, the one where Stone Cold first won the championship, and freaking Pete Rose was there. I completely forgot. I'd watched that when I was a kid, and I've been watching all the old wrestling stuff, and freaking Pete Rose was there and got tombstoned by Kane. That was hilarious. I forgot that he got involved in some of that stuff sometimes, but yeah, it's definitely been a good week. Corey says, nah, they're too busy shilling for The Last of Us. Yeah, that's another one where I have to watch the last episode. I gotta say, I've just kind of been dreading it. I've heard really bad things about it, and I'm just not looking forward to watching this latest episode and doing a review. Like, I know I have to do it because I've already started the season. I want to, get you guys the review and give you my thoughts. I heard it was really boring. I heard it was just rough. So I'm just kind of like dreading it, but I'll get to it. It'll be out before next week's episode for sure. I just got to sit down and do it. But yeah, like I said, I hope you all are doing well. And I'm excited because, like I said, we got a lot of good topics tonight to talk about. Raker, I've watched 3 episodes of Tulsa King, and I really enjoyed it. I really did. I've heard a couple people complaining about it on Twitter, like some speaking heads of the conservative party, right? But all that aside, I don't think it had and I saw those episodes they were talking about where it was woke. It's not. It's a good show. I just never got to finish it because I had so many other planned reviews. And sometimes shows like that, especially a smaller channel like myself, the reviews go into I have to edit it, right? I put clips in there. I try to keep it engaging. That takes time. And to do all that work and then 5 people watch it because it's not a super popular show, that's kind of why I don't do some of those shows that I do. But what I'm going to do is save a lot of that stuff for members. So that way the members have good stuff to watch and things of that nature. So, what's up, Jeffrey Miller, my favorite hater? I hope you are doing well. I hope you've had a good week. And hey, it's almost Friday, so I hope you have a great weekend coming up. And for a $1.99 super chat says, geez, Matt, don't be a Debbie Downer. I'm not. I'm having a good week, man. Like I said, for those that have enjoyed the Mandalorian and a couple of these things, I hope they love it. I hope they've had a great, having a good time watching it. But for me, it just wasn't there for me, man. But I appreciate the super chat, and I'm gonna play you a great. This is fitting for where Star Wars is currently at. So this one's for you, Jeff.
Come on, beat his ass up. Come on, it's got swing, can't do nothing. Harder, beat him up. Take a step. Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
That's one of my favorite videos. I love that thing. It was so funny. I'm surprised it actually got through with not getting hit by any type of copyright or anything. But all right, well, let's get into the first topic tonight. Let's talk about Peter Pan. Oh, geez. This looks really bad. So this is the trailer. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer or not. It looks pretty freaking rough. I'm not going to lie. They have zero confidence in this movie because it's going directly to Disney Plus. Even the trailer itself is just very low quality. This image that I have up, the reason for this is These are, if you guys haven't seen it or know, they're changing everything, right? We know that Disney's normally doing their race swaps and stuff, and I don't even care about that stuff anymore, to be honest. I know a lot of people are upset about the Tinkerbell race swap, which I think that is probably the biggest thing that people have complained about. And not just like I would say our side of the internet, like even normies and stuff, there people are just getting tired of it because it's just, again, instead of giving these hand-me-down characters, right? Instead of giving black people or Asian people or Hispanic people like these hand-me-down white characters, let's create new stuff, man. Let's create new characters for them because I would love to see new stuff. I want to see new stories. I really do. The rehash of stuff is just old. I don't even care about this because I just don't care about Peter Pan. If I want to watch it, I'm just going to watch the original. Why would I watch a remake at this point? Like, it doesn't even matter. So a couple of these things, like I said, these are the Lost Boys, and they're making the Lost Boys, some of them girls. And my argument is, well, why would you do that? Like, they're supposed to be boys. That's why they're boys. The whole point of having girls in the show is that was the whole point of Wendy, right? Wendy was kind of like their mother and the mother figure and taught them some things. So including girls into the mix, it doesn't really pan out as much. You know what I mean? It's just really, really crappy, in my opinion. Again, a lot of these characters are this the basic race swap. And based on the trailer, if I had to take a good guess, this is going to be more about Wendy than Peter. It's just she's going to upstage him in his own movie. And a lot of people, like I said, are not liking this. This isn't just my opinion. This is a lot of people. Right now, if you could see here, look at that. Oh, wait, whoops. Look, I can do it now. Man, isn't that great? I used to not be able to do that. So that's where we are for being ratioed. You have 34,000 upvotes to 247 downvotes. Not very good. A lot of people are just unhappy about this. And I don't blame them. It just looks, besides the race swapping, again, at that point, that's like the least argumentative thing for me anymore because it's Disney. It just looks bad. It just looks cheap. The story looks rough. The CGI looks bad, which we've seen time and time again about CGI. It looks really crappy. And that's not just something that's plagued live action shows. It's plagued pretty much everything anymore. It just looks terrible. We've seen that with Ant-Man, I heard. I haven't seen it, but a lot of people said that the CGI and that was really rough. We've seen She-Hulk, really bad CGI. We've seen a lot of these movies where, these departments and these companies that they use for the CGI are worked into the ground, and they don't put out content, or the good content rather. So some of the comments in here are absolutely hilarious, the people that are trashing this. So it says here, I love the part where Peter Pan is teaching the children to fly, and Wendy says he could fly. Then John says he could fly. Finally, Michael, the youngest, says, our society is based on systematic racism. Brought a tear to my eye. Another one. I love the scene where Wendy announces that she self-identifies as two persons and demands to be addressed as Wendy's. Truly empowering. I love the part where Wendy says, it's over, Peter Pan. I have the high ground. She was so stunning and so brave in that moment. Like I said, people are just trashing this because everyone is starting to see through what Disney does. And I know some people, look, there's going to be some people that love this and think it's the greatest thing ever, and more power to them. That's fine. If they like it, that's great. But most of this live action stuff, if you've noticed and you see on Rotten Tomatoes, is when I did a video on this, people don't like the live action. The live action Pinocchio bombed. Mulan bombed. What are some others that were on? Dumbo bombed. Dumbo is one of my favorite Disney movies of all time besides Pinocchio. And I remember going to see Dumbo in theaters, and I was like, this is terrible. This is terrible. Jeffrey says these are right-wing trolls. You are correct. 247,000 right-wing trolls. 247,000 trolls. Maybe it's not all trolls. I think we should just be fair in that maybe some people. Now look, a lot of these comments I would say are probably trolls. Yes. But there are some legit comments that I've seen on Twitter. I know even TMZ did an article where it's people complaining about mainly, like I said, the Cinderella, the Tinkerbell race swap, because Tinkerbell is iconically a white blonde-haired girl. Like that's just what makes Tinkerbell Tinkerbell. I mean, it is what it is. I think that's more, like I said, atrocious of it all than the other Peter Pan and the other things. It's going to be funny. I did see some Native Americans in here during the trailer, so I'm interested to see if they have Native Americans in the show, because if you remember, the original Peter Pan got a lot of heat because of the original song. I think, was it something, I don't remember exactly what it was. It's been a long time since I've seen the original, but again, so there's your Tinkerbell. That's what she looks like. And again, I think the actress, she looks great. Nothing wrong with it. I just think it doesn't really look like, and I will say this, even the Hook Tinkerbell didn't look great. What's her name? Horrible with names. Famous actress. The one that was the prostitute and what was that movie? I don't remember. Let me know in the chat if you guys know. She's a famous actress. But yeah, she did a good Tinkerbell, but her hair was so short. That looked terrible. But Hook was a great movie. If you're going to watch a live action Peter Pan movie, watch Hook. I knew one of you guys would be there to help me out. Yep, Cajun Court. Julia Roberts. Yeah, Julia Roberts, she portrayed Tinkerbell, I think, decent in that movie, but she looked terrible. Like her short hair, didn't look. You just said you don't care about race swapping, but you're about the blonde. Well, again, iconic characters, there's a difference. So you have some iconic characters that matter. That's what makes them iconic. But when you swap them out and you just, hand me down characters, it's kind of lame. It's kind of lame. That's, again, my opinion. I hope, Jeffrey, I hope you watch it and enjoy it and love it. And I hope you watch it 30,000 times. And I hope it's the best thing for you. But it's just not for me. And a lot of others like to laugh at it. And that's okay. We can laugh at things. It is okay. But yeah, this is going to do really, really bad. They have, obviously they're not putting in theaters because I don't think they have the confidence. I know The Little Mermaid got a lot of backlash. Like I said, I think that's another one, right, where we've talked about it before. Ariel is iconically redheaded white. It's based off of a story of a white mermaid. That's like literally in the book. Her skin was almost see-through white. Like that's how pure white it was. And again, it's just basic race. So I just figure you should take the characters and create a new one based off of it if you wanted to. Like Rufio. Rufio was a great character in Hook, right? And he was, I think, Filipino or something. He was a great character. I would have loved to see like a prequel movie with Rufio. That would be awesome. Let's see his rise, right? When Peter's gone and he's fighting Captain Hook and all that. That would be a perfect idea, but they don't do that kind of stuff because that takes effort and skill and ability to write and to be creative and to create new things. And this, all they want to do is, rehash old things. It takes them the least amount of creativity as possible, slap new people in there, swap around some things for a quote unquote modern day audience and call it a day. And it sucks, in my opinion. But what's up, Vader Fanatic? Hope you are doing well. Hey, I still got to watch that video you sent me. I haven't had a chance, but I hope to get it tomorrow. I do look forward to those, so I do appreciate you sending those to me. Those are awesome. I love those scary story things that you send me. Those are pretty cool. Night Rowan says the problem is that Disney is racist and lazy to make new stories about cultures with POCs. Instead, they take European stories and change them. Yeah, because there's a lot of like African folklore with books and books of African folklore that they can pull really good stories from and create it from scratch. They can, because it's there. It's not like these are the only stories that exist throughout time. There's plenty of things that they can do. They just choose not to. It's literally it's on purpose. So, and again, when I say the hand-me-down characters, That's like not, it's not like I've made that up. I've seen people and talked to people who are Black or Asian or whatever, and they've said that themselves. Like, they don't want hand-me-down characters. Why do you want a race swap of something? It's like, Eric July, young Ripa. If you don't, I mean, most of you would probably know who that is a very, very prominent of saying that. Like, I don't want hand-me-down characters. I want new stuff. I want new things. So, again, if you really want a live action Hook or Peter Pan story, the best one is Hook. Like, that is by far. You got Robin Williams, like I said, Rufio, Bangarang. You got Dustin Hoffman as Hook. I think Jude Law is Hook in this. And he looks okay. But I heard some people were complaining on Twitter that they made Jude Law too ugly in this, which, I mean, he's Hook. I mean, I don't think Hook is supposed to be pretty, right? I mean, Hook's supposed to look like a dirty old pirate. But yeah, we're going to talk about some dirty old pirates later in Mandalorian episode 1, season 3. So, but yeah. So, all right, let's see. Oh, and we'll get to this. I'll show this real quick. These are some other things that people were saying on old Twitter that I saw. Let me see. You guys can see. Nope. Sick of this. I will not be seeing this. At this point, I hope Disney goes broke. This is stupid to be changing classic movies just to fit a narrative. Let's see. The Lost Boys are no longer boys and Tinkerbell is black while Disney grapes the classics. They banned Don Rosa. This is really what the world wants and what we're living in. Guess next Banksy starts pushing feminist agenda too. Oh, wait. So, yeah, I don't even know what that's supposed to be. Not a fan of this tonally, or maybe it's just the trailer music and colors. Like, again, it's not just, people are not just saying it's like the race swaps, right? It's the trailer itself just looks really bad. Like, it looks off. It looks very low budget. It just doesn't look good. And that's the biggest problem. And we know that Disney has problems with CGI. It's not been good. We've seen that time and time again with a lot of problems. And it's another, they literally have a thing now where it's called the Disney live action curse. The Disney live action curse is because all these live action movies bomb. They don't do well. They're just, at this point, I don't even know why. I think the only one that did decent was Cruella. I think that did decent because I believe they're making another one to that. Other than that, most of everything else that I looked up didn't do well. It did really, really bad. So I don't know. I don't really know why they continue this. I mean, we know why, but I'm not watching it just because if I want to watch a really good Peter Pan story, we already have them. Why do I want to watch a new one? But all right, let's move on to the next topic here. And we could talk about Ant-Man because this is hilarious. So this next topic is really interesting to me. I have not seen Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium. I heard it's not doing well at the box office. I think it may break even depending, but it's not doing well. It's not doing what they expected. And especially with it being phase 5, that's a really bad, poor start for Marvel. Like, they really need this to come out the gate swinging, and it's not looking that good. Especially, we've also heard some really good things, really bad things about the Marvels, where they push that back. Please do, Jeffrey. Please watch it for me because I have not. I refuse to watch Ant-Man. I don't have it's not that, like I said, it's not that it didn't look exciting to me. It didn't look worth it. And then the people that I trust, that I try to like have fair and unbiased reviews, they even said it's not that good. It's not really worth going to the movies for. So I just could really pass. What's up, Alan, over at Grave Review says, I could care less about gender or race swapping. Just give me a good story and good writing, please. Yes, that is the main thing, right? Again, I'm so accustomed to it at this point. Like, that's not I even said that in my video when I did a review on the trailer. Like, at this point, if you're still ranting and raving and screaming about the race swaps, we're past that. Like, we all know it's coming. So at that point, it doesn't even matter. like I said, I think Tinkerbell, that's kind of like, oh, you're really pushing the envelope there because Tinkerbell is so iconic. But whatever. At this point, just write it well. Just do a really good story. Or if you're going to race swap, man, make it all. Just do everything completely different. Do it like Upside Down World, Bizarro. Just make it all like everyone, either Hispanic or Black or Asian. At this point, it doesn't matter, But yeah, that's the thing though. They don't put out good stories. They don't write good things, and that's why most people don't, hate the garbage. But I prefer just creating new IPs at this point. Just the remakes in general, they're bad. They're just real trash. It's the same story over and over again. I want new content. I want something new, something that we can discuss, new characters that we could fall in love with, new characters we can hate. Like that's what I want, not the same old, but here we are. So Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, again, haven't seen it. I've heard not great things, but the writer says they were surprised by terrible reviews. I was in a low spot and really sad about it. Now, that really isn't the part that I want to talk about. It's the other part that he's kind of the in denial stuff. What's up, Black Angus Reviews, man? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by, saying hey. I really do appreciate it. I heard about the remaking of the Haunted Mansion. I did not see the trailer. I know the original one was the original one, but the one with Eddie Murphy, I love that one. That was a good movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I've not seen the remake, or the trailer yet. So I may check it out and see what it looks like. It's if it's anything else like they put out, it's probably not that enjoyable. But so it says here, let's see. I want to get to the point where it said, again, it's got better reviews from like you and I, like the normal person reviews versus the actual viewers on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I don't like critics and I don't trust them, but the score right now is sitting at still a 47%. It's worse than Eternals. So, but again, I don't really believe what the critics say. Based on some of the other people that I watch that I trust in reviews, it's just not a good movie. Like Mr. H is a very good channel, if you don't know that does reviews, and he's pretty, when it comes to movies and stuff, he knows his stuff and he pretty stays. If it's good, it's good. If it's trash, it's trash. It doesn't matter about the politics and all that nonsense. He's pretty unbiased. And he saw it and he didn't really appreciate it or care for it that much. But anyway, he goes on to say, to be honest, those reviews took me by surprise. I was in a pretty low spot and those were not good reviews. And I was like, and he was surprised and shocked. He goes, I'm really proud of what I wrote for Jonathan Majors and Michelle Pfeiffer. I thought that was good stuff, and I was so just despondent and I was really sad about it. So this is where I get kind of like, I'm a little perturbed about this because I was like, this is not how you handle this stuff, right? Says Loveness got in better spirits after he decided to attend the public screening of Quantumania after the negative reviews came out. The screenwriter listened as audience members laughed and as many of the jokes he added to the script. And he goes, quote, I'm like, God damn it. No, the reviewers are wrong. I'm right. MODOK is great, he said. I'm pretty happy with it overall. And I think I learned how to take a punch this week. And now that I learned that it's not too bad, I can just go on with making things. Well, I will say this. Going to the audience, there's a lot of, and I'm not being mean when I say this, but I went to see Spider-Man No Way Home. I liked Spider-Man No Way Home. But a lot of those jokes in there were not that good. Like I didn't laugh out loud. I wasn't, I didn't think they were the funniest things in the world. Kind of low IQ jokes, at least in my opinion. And man, the audience was eating it up like it was the funniest thing in the world. And again, I really enjoy No Way Home. I love No Way Home. I think it's a good movie, but the jokes just didn't land for me. So to laugh at some of these jokes, and I've heard the jokes are kind of corny. That's the one thing I didn't like. That's why I appreciated more of the older Marvel from back in the day with Tobey Maguire, right? The OG is there are funny moments in there and they're not even trying to be funny. But there's a good sense of seriousness. There's weight to it. That's what makes those movies so amazing and stand the test of time. Whereas today, it's always that Marvel humor that I think a lot of people are just like, come on, man. Like, do we have to do this all the time? It's always that stupid, just punchline that doesn't need to be in there. And again, so he went to a screening and he needed some, I guess, positive reinforcement that it was a good movie. Well, hey, whatever works for you. But overall, it's, from my understanding, it's not good. And I would say, based on the box office, that this is the biggest box office drop, meaning the second week a movie comes out, this is the worst ever of all Marvel movies, is not a good thing. Movie is just not. And I love Ant-Man. Like the original Ant-Man, the first one that came out, I love that movie. That was such a good movie. Cajun Corey says Ant-Man's daughter told Modoc to, is that true? I heard that was edited. I don't know if that was edited or not. That's what's bad about the internet anymore. Because I saw that video on Twitter and I was like, is this real? Is this really? Did that really happen? If it did, I wouldn't be surprised. But to me, it sounded like that was fake. But I don't know. I didn't see it, so I watched a lot of it. Modoc looked terrible. But again, the one thing I will say about Modoc, how do you make that like good? Like it's a hard character to make good, even if they really tried. And we know that they don't really try at these things. So yeah, I thought, like I said, this was funny that he kind of had this little meltdown and cried. He got really upset about reviews. And what I will say this though, the issue that I have with this, like he's like, no, I'm right. It's like, maybe you should take criticism. Like I get a lot of criticism with my reviews and my videos, and I listen to them and I try to better myself in my reviews and my videos. I try to up the editing, right? I take notes and things of that nature. Because if you're not self-aware that you can't be better, then you're never going to get better. If you kind of live in this little thing here where he's, no, I'm right. I'm right. This is good. You're not really opening yourself to criticism and you're not going to get better. So that's the problem that I have with this. And that's where we see a lot of goes on with Marvel. We saw that with She-Hulk. We see that with all these other shows, right? Where they blame, it's always the fans. It's always our fault for not liking something. It's always, and look, to be fair, you're always going to have some people who are completely black-pilled, and no matter what, even if it's good, they're going to say it sucks. But that's not the majority. Most people, for the most part, give credit where credit's due. If something's just bad, it's bad. If something's good, it's good. And a lot of these producers, directors, writers, they blame the fans for everything. They blame them all the time, and it's always somebody else's fault. It's never their own, like them accepting their own faults, right? Saying, oh, maybe I could have done this better. Maybe I could. No, like She-Hulk is we purposely were trolling the fans. Like not very smart. Same thing kind of here. So that's why I thought this was a little, interesting. And yeah, and like I said, it's not looking good for Marvel right now as a whole. Like I said, I don't know if you guys saw my last video. But basically the Marvels is in a lot of trouble with the reshoots. And now the Marvels is supposed to be the next best thing, right? Like the Marvels and that new Miss Marvel, I think's her name. She's going to be leading the MCU. She's going to be, because at first they said it's going to be Brie Larson's character that's going to be leading it, and now they're saying it's this new one. So the fact that this needs reshoots, it's getting pushed back because the test screenings were really bad, that's not good. I don't have any hope for it anyway. I think most of us here probably that watch my stuff don't either. But it's starting to, I think it's going to start to mount and add up, because if Phase 5 is on the same trajectory as the ending of Phase 4, it looks like Marvel's going to be in some trouble. So let's get on to the next topic. And that saves me, because I have actually a lot to talk about with Star Wars. So if Star Wars is your favorite topic of discussion, then you are in for a treat, because it's got we have a lot to talk about. So I want to start with this, because I thought this was hilarious. Shout out to you. Oops, sorry. Shout out to you, Philip, for posting this. I thought this was hilarious. This is funny. This is Dave Filoni in his true form. Now, look, anyone who thinks that Dave Filoni Jon Favreau and all them are saving Star Wars, you're 100% wrong. And that's okay. You can, not believe me or be in some type of, this is my opinion, but Dave Filoni is not the savior. If anything, he's just a politician. He goes along with the program. It doesn't matter who's in charge. That's what Dave Filoni's going to do. He's going to, if Kathleen Kennedy's there, he's going to go along with whatever she says because he wants to secure his job. If George Lucas is involved, he's going to go along with George and say whatever he needs to hold his job. That's the kind of guy it is. At the end of the day, all he wants to do is push Ahsoka in any way, shape, or form. So before I jump into the Mandalorian episode, I thought this was really interesting that I popped up there, that I noticed. So I want to share this. So it says Mandalorian's EPs debate the validity of Luke Skywalker's Jedi title. So essentially, you had Dave Filoni trying to question if Luke was actually a Jedi. What's up, Flaccid? Hope you're doing well, man. I'm glad you're stopping by and hanging out. And I thought, didn't you see that Peak Marvel on MVP's Twitter? That was hilarious. That was a very cringe video. Dear God, everything is peak everything. But hope you're doing well, bud. So there was an interview that they were having with them, and they were talking about the validity of Luke Skywalker's Jedi title. So Dave Filoni says, the interesting question is how you define when someone is a Jedi. That's the real question, because the Jedi is a way of training. It's a way of philosophy and being. Jon Favreau responds and says, well, Grogu trained with the Jedi. And Dave Filoni says, Grogu trained when he was young, and so did Luke. Yoda didn't confirm that he was a Jedi. Do you remember? He says, oh, you think you're a Jedi? Not so fast. He had to pass the trials, which is incorrect, by the way. Jon Favreau corrects him and goes, but he also said, you'll be the last Jedi when I'm gone. Now, the trials that he had to pass, if you remember from Return of the Jedi, is he said, once you beat Vader, then you will be a Jedi. That's what he said. But let's continue. Dave Filoni goes, that's interesting. We've seen a few more pop up. So he is essentially challenging the fact that Luke Skywalker is a Jedi, and the last Jedi for that matter. And what he's talking about is when he says, we've seen a few more pop up, he's of course talking about Ahsoka. So these people, I mean, I don't even think Jon Favreau is that great, to be honest, because a lot of the things that he's written himself with Book of Boba Fett and all that, he was involved. Everyone says he wasn't. Nope, he wrote some. Those were bad episodes. These guys are not the saviors of Star Wars. They don't really care that much. I think they care more than others. But at the end of the day, especially Dave Filoni, Dave Filoni is garbage. All he cares about is pushing Ahsoka. And I think personally what they're going to try to do is eventually they're going to swap out Luke and make Ahsoka like the chosen one. Yeah. Return of the Jedi. I guess Filoni missed that movie. Yeah, well, it's convenient because, George isn't around anymore. If you remember, when George was around, he was all up George's ass saying all the right things about how Luke Skywalker and the story of the Skywalker saga, which ended at the last or Return of the Jedi. So, but no, they are over time going to erase and diminish Luke Skywalker's role in Star Wars, time and time again, more and more than they can. And they are going to push and elevate Ahsoka up. And look, I actually like the character of Ahsoka, but it's kind of like how, know your role and shut your mouth. Like everybody knows where Ahsoka lands in the world. She should be dead, but of course they have to bring her back because it's his baby and he wants to push this. Has this weird fetish of Ahsoka. It's very strange. Yeah, they are not the saviors. Absolutely. And here's another fantastic piece here. So it says, the Mandalorian fans shocked by new Grogu Luke Skywalker reveal. So if you remember, then this is the biggest problem that I have with the Mandalorian is they do not explain how these two got back together. Now, you'd have to have watched Book of Boba Fett to understand how these two got back together, which a lot of people didn't. Like I said, I know a couple normies that didn't watch Book of Boba Fett, could care less about Book of Boba Fett. They saw this episode 3 and they're like, wait a second, why are they back together? What happened? What did I miss here? Even in the like kind of previously on The Mandalorian, they don't even show that because it happened in another series. So they can't do it. So it's so stupid. It was like disrespectful to the fans to not even at least fill them in. But I guess if you do fill them in, then there's literally no reason to watch the Book of Boba Fett at all. So I don't know. It's very, very dumb. But anyway, they go on to say that the Marvel and Star Wars director appears to confirm that Grogu and Din Djarin had been apart for 2 years, indicating that Baby Yoda was with Luke during that period. So he goes, quote, and we know that he started off earlier in the Jedi Temple. We've seen flashbacks of that. And then we know that he's been rescued and spent many years with the Mandalorian and went back to Luke. Now we've been 2 years apart from him. They're training. There is no way. What's going on, Cajun? Thank you, my friend. Hope you're thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend, brother, and I'll catch you next time. But thank you for stopping by. Jeffrey says, yeah, well, it's Mando 2.5 for a reason, Matt. I understand that. And because I watched Book of Boba Fett, but the people that did not see Book of Boba Fett and don't know that, they're left out the dark. So like during my review that I put, a lot of people who watched my review literally said, thank you for clearing that up because I had no idea. I was literally confused and I didn't know that they had to look it up too. They had to look it up in Google, like, how did they get back together? There's literally a Variety article for people saying, hey, in case you're confused as to why they're together, this is why. So that's not good when you have to have articles explaining what's going on in your show. That's poor writing and poor decision making. Now, I personally think the reason why they did that in Book of Boba Fett was because Book of Boba Fett was doing so poorly and people were hating it. So they're like, all right, we got to do something to get people to watch this show. So let's bring the Mandalorian in and Book of Boba and Grogu and bring those episodes. That's what I think. I may be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time that I'm wrong. So don't hold me to it. What's up, Marcos? Hope you're doing well, brother. Thank you for stopping by, my friend. And hey, while you guys are here, if you haven't, most of you normally do, so I appreciate it. If you haven't, smash the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Helps the channel and all that fun stuff. But it was very shocking to see this comment. So it says, this revelation led to shocking reaction from fans, with some even questioning the 2-year gap. So Brandon Bird, whoever that is, says it doesn't believe Favreau's claim of 2 years, noting the show's tight on-screen timeline with literally overlapping events. So it doesn't really make sense the way they did it, because he goes, no, they don't. The show has a tight on-screen timeline with overlapping events. What is he even talking about? Like, if you say Din Djarin and Grogu were traveling around for many years, then Boba and Fennec were doing what? Farting around in Tatooine for Slave One for that long? There's no way. Like, they can try to justify that all they want and say that, but there is literally no way 2 years pass in between. Impossible. Didn't happen. They could say that. They're trying to justify this stuff, but it's wrong. Like, I'm sorry. And he goes, wait. He goes, what? Over many years. Also, in the Book of Boba Fett, it felt like Grogu was just beginning his training. He couldn't even jump properly using the Force until the episode. I'm confused. And these are fans. This isn't like these are haters asking this stuff. These are legit people that watch the show and like it and annoy, all that stuff. And it says this was not conveyed well at all in the show. That's another user. It says Grogu was with Luke 2 years and hadn't learned how to raise more than one frog. Like, this is what happens when you get stuck in this really bad situation of bad writing, because now people can pick apart everything that you've said and done. Remember, I know a lot of IPs where people don't care. Like Marvel, for the most part, is so convoluted. The lore doesn't stay together, right? Like what they say in one movie is completely different in the next movie. And most people don't. It's Marvel movies. They're all kind of intertwined, and it is what it is. Star Wars is a different beast. Star Wars is a completely different animal. Those fans are completely different. They hang on to every single little thing that happens. So to do that, to say this kind of stuff, you are going to have people picking it apart left and right. Scott Davis says, I think Jar Jar is the one who saves him. Yeah, I think they should have Darth Jar Jar who did it all. But Wouldn't surprise me if they have him saving him from Order 6. But I think I saw the preview or what was it? The little trailer of the Mandalorian, and you're definitely going to have a flashback of him showing him how to get out. Yeah, Grogu should be stronger by now. If he's 2 years in, there should definitely be some strength there. And yeah, Darth Jar Jar. So originally the my understanding, the rumored was that Jar Jar Binks was actually going to be like the Sith in those movies. And because he got such bad backlash from the movies, George was like, no, we can't do that. So yeah, Darth Jar Jar was supposed to originally be like a Sith Lord, which I find interesting if that was the case. But yeah, so let's see. So let's get into, so I thought, like I said, I'll finish up this note here. The 2-year gap, like I said, that's impossible. So another user says here, or Twitter user, no, I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that we only got to see like one episode of the supposed 2 years he was away. It was only a couple of weeks, and I refuse to believe otherwise. What the hell was Boba Fett doing for 2 years? Like, again, it does not make sense. Why hasn't Luke aged at all then? And again, these are all fans of people just ripping this apart. So I have no idea. I absolutely no idea. Let's see. Jeffrey says, oh, the chat jumped on me. Sorry. Tell me that. Do I think Grogu is a Yoda clone? I have no idea. I don't think it's a Yoda clone. I mean, it could be, but I think it's a relative of some kind that they're going to try to tie to Yoda. I don't know if it's an actual clone though, but I know they are needing his blood to, and that's how they're tying this to the Rise of Skywalker saga with the clones of Snoke, right? That's his name. I think that's what they're going to tie it to. I don't know for sure, but I don't personally think Grogu is a Yoda clone. I think he's just another species of Yoda's, another species of Yoda's species. So, but I don't think he's actually a clone. Could be, but what's up, Marcos for the $4.99 super chat? Thoughts on bad CGI of the alligator when the armor ran toward it in the water, but the cut shot was her just running past it. I did notice that. It was bad. Yes. And that actually leads me to, I'm going to do my breakdown of Mando episode 1, season 3, because man, the CGI and some of the other stuff in this were rough, like really freaking bad. It was that whole opening scene. So before I jump into it, Marcos, thank you for that $4.99 super chat, my friend. I really appreciate it. I'm going to play this one for you. This is the man who officially destroyed Star Wars.
Story that had no end. I give. Sorry.
Much appreciated, brother. I definitely appreciate that. Bobby says, yeah, it could be the child of Yaddle, I think is how you say that name. Again, I'm terrible with names. If you saw my review, I didn't even know the armorer's name. I was like, I'm not even trying it. I don't even remember. But yeah, it could be the child of Yaddle. I wouldn't surprise me at all if they made Grogu that. Could be Yoda's kid. Who knows? I mean, who knows what they decide to do? But yeah, so getting into the episode real quick, it was rough. Was it the worst piece of Star Wars I ever saw? No. Talking about the good points, we can. I really appreciated what I loved about The Mandalorian is they have it does feel in a sense like the Star Wars world where you have, a lot of robots and droids running around. You have alien species around. Like that was one thing my complaint about Andor, which Andor was written very well. And well, for the most part, it was written very well. Not always, but for the most part, it was written very well. Very serious tone. The set designs in Andor were great, but it lacked a lot of the alien species and stuff. And that was the one thing that it didn't feel like Star Wars in that sense. It felt more like a Blade Runner show. Whereas this, it does feel like Star Wars, right? Like you see all the droids and everything running around when he goes to see what's his name? The that I'm going to call him I know he's not the chancellor, but the guy in charge of that town, right, from the old seasons. He's now like in charge of the entire town. You saw all kinds of droids and stuff, and I like that and I appreciate it. Some of those droids, or excuse me, some of those species though didn't land, and I'm going to pull up pictures so you guys can see if you didn't see my review because it was terrible. But that intro where they're on the beach and they're doing that ceremony and it's like 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid, that visor, is that normal? Is that like normal that the visor is supposed to be really wide on the Boba Fett helmet or the Mandalorian helmet? Hang on. I'm going to pull up the picture real quick because it looked really freaking bad. It looked out of place and kind of like a really bad cosplay image. Like I said, I should have just kept my PC up, the old PC, because I had all these pictures saved, but now I got to search for them. And I didn't prepare. But yeah, the CGI on the crocodile alligator thing was terrible. Like, again, if you're going to, this is Star Wars, they could have been a little bit more creative when it came to this. So here, let me share this real quick. Ads. All right. So yeah, this is the intro scene, right? Where you have, this is where they are doing the ceremony, and why we're here, don't know. No idea. We don't know what relevance this is. We don't know why this is taking place here. You would imagine that this is a place that they go all the time. So they're familiar with it. But if you see here on my mouse, this is the lady with the armor with the kid's helmet. Again, I would assume he's going to outgrow his helmet because he's only 12. So how can he never take it off? That's what I thought too. I thought at first this was going to be a flashback of maybe Din Djarin's ceremony, and then it wasn't. And it really, really threw me off. David says Mando being the flagship series and making stuff like this is just sad. I agree. Colors seem weird to me. Yeah, there was a couple. It didn't look as I feel like if you went back and watched season 1, they seemed a little bit more dulled down, and now they're a little bit more vibrant and bright. But let's see. Also, can someone clarify for me, can't they take them off when they're alone? I don't think so. I think I guess technically you can, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to never take it off. You're supposed to like lift it up just enough to, eat and drink and stuff, but you're never supposed to take it off. Like according, like with his cult of the Mandalores, because what's the other Bo-Katan's is not, like, they don't believe that. They believe you could take off the helmet. So you have those different factions. Again, I'm not the biggest Star Wars lore nerd in the world, so if I say something wrong, like bear with me, okay? Jeffrey Miller for the $1.99 super sticker. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Let's play. Oh, this is a good one. This is going to be your favorite. I think you're going to like this one, Jeff. Probably not, but you might like it. I like it.
But he's in trouble. Payback. Oh,
man. Some old school wrestling there for you, Jeff. I appreciate it. David says, didn't Mano take it off earlier in the first season while flying alone? I think so, but I don't think they showed his face to the audience, if my understanding when he did. I don't remember. It's been a very long time since I saw episode or anything from season 1. I do remember, and I watched The Undertaker is one of the best of all time. I mean, Stone Cold. I mean, no one beats Stone Cold, but Undertaker is up there for sure. I think he did. but I don't think you saw his face in the first episode or in that season 1 when you did. I think the first time you saw it was when he was injured, when they were pinned down with Cara Dune. I think that's when you saw his face for the first time. It's my understanding. Marco says, Matt, wasn't it confirmed in season 2 the armor said to Mando, everyone is gone. It's only 3. Yes, that was another one too. And I guess that's why they're trying to push that 2 years have passed, because maybe now this, again, you're using your brain and like, wait a second, season 2, you just said everyone's gone. And now there's like these big, massive group of people. So it's very strange, very weird. None of their stuff adds up because they say one thing and then they say another. So Flaccid says, I wish my wife had to wear a helmet all the time. You could definitely make that happen. Oh, man. Candice says, yeah, I mean, tell her you think it's hot. Yeah, it's true. Hey, I'm sure nothing surprises me what people do. Still, yeah, they rebuilt an entire clan in 2 years. Yeah. Again, that's a little bit unrealistic. And again, I'm trying to find this helmet. And like I said, I had the picture earlier, but the visor portion of it just looked so wide for this kid's helmet. It looked just kind of like a bad cosplay. It was very, very bad. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it or not. I wish I could, but if anyone, well. But anyway, they presented this helmet, and then you had this gigantic crocodile pop up. The crocodile looked really bad. The CGI was terrible. The fact that they used a crocodile was really lame to me. Of all the things that they could have figured out, and these, of all the creatures that they could have done. Like, this is a version of the crocodile. And again, the CGI was really, really bad. Like, really bad. They were trying to fly around. It couldn't do anything. It was eating a bunch of people. And then, obviously, Mando came in with his starfighter and smoked it. Killed it. Destroyed it. And this is the pieces of it all over the place. So, if you could see here, actually, here's a good... Because I think that's the kid. Ignore that little pop-up here. But do you see right here, if you can zoom in or look real quick, look at how wide that visor is for that kid compared to the other ones. Maybe it's because it's a kid helmet. I don't know, but I'm assuming like it just looks really off. And to me, it looked like a Power Rangers helmet. It looked really bad. It just looked very cosplay-ish, but I don't know. So getting back to this. So Din Djarin shows up, right, in the fighter, destroys it, and then he's basically saying, hey, what do I need to do to become a Mandalorian again? Because obviously, he took his helmet off, and they're basically saying that he needs to travel to Mandalore and explore like these underwater caves. This was what I understood from it. So what happens is I don't know what this is. A lot of people were talking about this, of the Purgle. I have no idea what that is. If someone wants to explain that to me, I don't know. It's because it's something they said from Star Wars Rebels, which I have not seen Star Wars Rebels, so I'm a little out of the loop there. So he goes to Navarro, and as you see a couple member berries, right? These things from these little from what's it called? Return of the Jedi, Jabba's palace, the little monkey thing. But he talks to, that's what it is, High Magistrate Grief Karga, which is Carl Weathers, talks to him, and he needs a droid. Well, he wants a droid to accompany him to the planet Mandalore. Well, he wants IG-11. There's a big statue of IG-11, and he's like, hey, I can trust that droid. I want to fix him and bring him with me. Now, what I don't like about that is that I love that scene of IG-11 when he real quick, Flaccid says, hey, thanks. We're trying to get different. We're trying to be different. We need to get Matt on the show. I know. Our schedules have not lined up like multiple times on Mondays, because I know their all's show is on Monday night. So we are going to get that. That is going to happen. I will appear on their show, and their show is wild. So if anyone's here and they're not, you are not subscribed to Flaccid Phoenix, I definitely check it out. They have a great show, and I will be appearing, and we will have a lot of fun. We need to talk some Seinfeld because that's like one of my favorite shows of all time, and grew up on it. But yeah, so we get over here to Navarro. He sees the statue of IG-11, and he's like, all right, I want to rebuild IG-11 and fix him. But again, I loved that part of the Mandalorian in season 1 where IG-11 sacrifices himself to protect him. That was like, it really heartfelt, like it was impactful, and I feel like they completely destroy that by bringing him and resurrecting back to life. The only cool scene that I will say is when they do resurrect him or resurrect IG-11, his old programming is in, and remember, he was trying to kill Grogu, so he like was Terminator dragging his body along the floor trying to get after Grogu. That was really cool because it was a nod to the Terminator. But yeah, I mean, the whole IG-11 thing really doesn't make sense to me. I thought it was really silly, and I think it negates everything that happened before and kind of dulls and destroys that earlier scene from the show that made that really good. Like that was like one of my favorite episodes from the earlier season. Yeah, we're going to get to that Swamp Thing, Pirate King. Marco says, the dialogue is off on Mando, says Apollo, I'm here. Says to Apollo, I'm here for other business. Then later on, Apollo says, oh, I didn't know you were here on business. What can I do for you? Yeah, that's another one too. The space pirates also, the dialogue was off. There was a lot of things that they were like, you could pick apart on this. It's really, really the inconsistency is bad. And like I said, the show is kind of all over the place. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And I'm going to get to the point where, well, you'll know what I'm talking about here in a minute. George is the GOAT. Absolutely. George Costanza. Listen, it's not a lie if you believe it. I mean, it is what it is. But George is the best, based off of the creator of Seinfeld. Like, love George Costanza. But anyway, all right. Don't want to get off track here. Space pirates are such a cool idea, and they ruined it. Yeah, one of them actually looked exactly like Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean, but this is what the space pirates looked like. Like it kind of looks cartoonish to me. I don't know about you, but it looks really rough. Stupid ads. I gotta get an ad blocker. There we go. Nope, never mind. Okay. Back to zoom out. But yeah, so these are the space pirates where it's really weird. They get into an altercation because they're on the planet and they want to go drinking but the place where they're going is now a school. And they're like, we don't care. We still want to go in there. I don't care if it's a school. That's where we want to drink. I did like that little showdown. It was very Western, right? And that's what Mandalorian's based off of, like the old school spaghetti Westerns. So that I did appreciate. Again, I appreciate the fact that they have different aliens in here. Like that was, hey, you're doing Star Wars stuff. That's fine. But again, the asset Terminator. So this is where IG-11 came alive and was like crawling on the floor. Literally was like right out of the book of Terminator, the first Terminator, which I thought was awesome. But again, I just don't like the fact that they are bringing back IG-11. I think that waters down what happened before. So the droid Smiths were the ones that were working on IG-11 to try to fix him. They're saying his like memory chip is messed up, and they're bringing in these characters. I don't even know what these guys are called, but they're the Babu Frick species, right? And that's how they're going to tie this stuff into the Rise of Skywalker, which I have not seen, but I know that Babu Frick is a thing and these characters in it. So this isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's just something I was like, all right, well, you got to do anything to tie it into current day Star Wars. So this article does not have my favorite pirate, but this is where I was just like, nah, I'm good. So let me look it up real quick. So after he realized, they say, hey, I need to go and find parts to fix IG-11. So that's where he goes. And he leaves the planet to go travel to find these parts so they can get IG-11 fixed so he can get him up and running so that he can travel with him to Mandalore because he can trust him. So He goes into space, and he has a space battle. Okay, well, the space battle was cool, right? It didn't look that bad. Couple cool maneuvers and stuff and everything, but this is where I have a problem. When I saw this, I was just kind of like, okay, I'm done. Pretty much done. So this is the space pirate. Basically, it looks like, if you ever seen Old Greg was a really funny skit from back in the day, hilarious. That's what this reminded me of immediately, and also Swamp Thing. When I saw this, I was like, yeah, I'm done. No, and I listen, I'm glad for the practical effects. I would much rather the practical effects than CGI, right? Like that, I'm all about practical effects. I love it. This looks rough, though. This looks really freaking bad. Like, I don't know. You could have come up with something better than this. I don't know what they were thinking. This is pretty rough. So this is him in full pirate gear. I mean, even his boots look like a legit pirate on the seven seas, right? Sorry, I was trying to zoom in. But yeah, that looks terrible. Looks really freaking bad with the cane. And I was just like, I'm done. Like, I don't know how you regressed with practical effects. It looks really, yeah, perfect. It just says it looks straight out like an 80s movie. And I love 80s movies. And there are some really good, and I will say this, hey, I even have got to push back because there are some great effects from 80s movies. Like The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, those effects, amazing. Amazing. This, though, looks really bad. Like they could have come up with something else. It was, I don't know. It looks, Jeffrey Miller says, that's Captain Hook better than Jude Law. I don't know. I don't know. I think Jude Law actually looked decent as Captain Hook, to be honest. But if they made this reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean. That's what it looked like. It looks like a character out of Pirates of the Caribbean. Even like I said, even one of the minions in the earlier and like that during the saloon where they got shot, literally had the tentacles like Davy Jones, and you know, it looked very Pirates of the Caribbean-y, which I get it, but just do something different. I don't know. Like again. Not only was it that, it was just, again, the dialogue wasn't really the greatest. And I was just like, oh, I don't think I could do this anymore. I don't think I could watch it. So I had other things to do. I was like, I'm not enjoying this. So I shut it off. I was done. I did watch another review after that to see what I missed because I didn't want to watch the rest of the episode. I think I only had 15 minutes left. And then I don't really understand, but to get back to this, so after he defeats those pirates and gets away, apparently, he goes to see Bo-Katan, and she kind of explains. So it says here, yeah, at the end of season 3, episode 1, Din Djarin and Grogu travel to Kalevala. Did I say that right? Hang on.
So swummy, slippy, slappy, Samsonite. I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
So yeah, I do that every. I can't say words. To meet up with Bo-Katan, I don't really know why he went to meet her though. If he was trying to get parts for IG-11, I don't think they even explain it. But I didn't watch it, so I don't know. But he meets up with her. Oh, it says here he asked to join her mission to retake Mandalore. Okay, but she responds that the faction she built abandoned her after she failed to win the Darksaber. Since Din is the one who now holds the weapon, she clearly resents him, but she seems to resent her people's superstitious ways even more. Wave that thing around, she says with clear disgust. They'll do whatever you say. Interesting. So I guess that's why he went to go see her. I guess that kind of makes sense, but I would assume that he would have went to go get the parts first, and then from there, then went to go see her, but I don't know. But yeah, so, and that was apparently after that, the end of the episode. And again, my biggest pet peeve of it all and my biggest issues were just the dialogue was really bad. Tonally, the show is all over the place, right? There was I don't remember if it was season 2 or if it was Book of Boba Fett, because they kind of merged. I think it was, like Jeffrey Miller said earlier, it's like 2.5, where he cuts that guy in half with the darksaber. That was really cool. It's very kind of like gritty, but then it gets really, really kiddie and really, really childish. And I think there should be a mix, right? But I think you should try to stay somewhere in the middle. It doesn't have, I'm not talking this needs to be dark and gritty, but Star Wars was always kind of dark and it had its lighter tones. But I feel like sometimes, and I'm talking about the original, not the prequels. The original, it had lighter tones, but it was still kind of an adult element, I guess, in a sense, where, the prequels are really kiddie. And I like the prequels, but there's definitely some issues with the prequels. But overall, like I said, I mean, it wasn't the greatest episode. I didn't enjoy it that much, and that's why I don't know if I can continue doing weekly reviews on it. Maybe what I can do, if some of you guys like listening to me talk about it, I'll do like stream reviews like this, and I can talk about it on stream. That way we could talk about it then. And I can have like pictures set up then, because like I said, this takes a lot of editing time, takes time to do that stuff. And if I'm not enjoying it, it's just not the greatest, not the most fun thing to do. Marco says, why would her people leave her? It makes no sense. Well, I guess the argument could be is because she doesn't have the darksaber. So why would they follow and listen to her? And she has, like, they're superstitious, right? It's whoever has the darksaber, but it does make sense, right? So it's like, and I understand what you're saying, where if they left her because she doesn't have the darksaber, then shouldn't they be following around the leader of the darksaber? So they would be harassing like Din Djarin, and they're not. So what the hell? Where are they going? What are they doing? Wouldn't they stay together? So it is a little confusing. It's a lot of conflicting things going on. Yeah, Candy said it should appeal to kids and adults. Yeah, and I think it should stay kind of like in the middle, not lean too kiddie, but then not lean too adultish. Just that's what I felt like Star Wars always did, where as an adult, as a kid, you could watch both. They're great and they're enjoyable, and they're not lean too. Because like I said, I mean, Luke gets his hand cut off. There's a lot of things happen. People get cut in half. Marco says she was a boss before and didn't have the black saber blade, so why leave her now? Very good point. She didn't have it then, and they were following her. So why would they skip out and go away now? Yeah, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And see, that's the thing. Because we're questioning and asking it, and we don't have, maybe they'll explain it in the future, which I doubt. But that's what happens with this stuff. They have to be on top of every little part. They have to be on top of the writing of it all. So, and the fact that they're not, and that they have these little loopholes and these gaps, it really kills it. You know what I mean? Candice, he says, I don't have Disney anymore, so I don't care either. I'm not watching. Yeah. A lot of people I have access to it. Let's put it that way. So basically Mando, and they kicked him out. Oh yeah, that's wild. It makes no sense. Yeah, Annie does kill a bunch of kids. That's one of my favorite freaking parts. That is my favorite part, I think, in the, was it Clone Wars? The second one, when he goes to rescue his mom and he just loses his stuff. Like, that was my favorite part of Star Wars. That Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker is my favorite thing of Star Wars. It's why I love Star Wars so much. It's his story. It's the redemption arc. It's Vader is, truth, or, good and justice and truth overcomes evil. He realizes, he needs to save his son and the love of his son. He needs to save his son. That's why I love Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker so much. And that's why I have such a problem with the Disney sequels, is because they tarnish that entire story and his sacrifice is nothing. So that's the problems that I have with it. Jeffrey Miller says, I'm still waiting for your Last of Us review with 2 shows, Pedro, Grogu, and Ellie comparison memes everywhere. I mean, yeah, that's one thing that I was talking to. I think maybe it was Bobby in one of his comments. he's kind of turned into the TV series babysitter, I feel like. For the most part, I've liked The Last of Us. There's a couple parts that I had issues with, but only because I've loved the game so much. So the comparisons throw me off a little bit. I think some of the things that they've changed, I was like, why? That was such a good level, and you could have emphasized on that level more so than they did in the game, and they could have tweaked it a little bit to where they could still put what they want in there, but missing out on some of those episodes really, really kind of or those levels in the game really sucked. But overall, it's okay. I'm kind of, like I said earlier, I haven't watched the last episode just because I'm dreading it a little bit because I heard it's really slow. And I had nothing to compare it off of because I never played this downloadable content. I think, yeah, this is supposed to be like some type of prequel situation thing, and it's some DLC of the game that I never played. So I don't have anything to reference off of it. I'm just gonna have to take it for what it is. I did see that they play Mortal Kombat 2. I did see that, and I thought that was dope because that's one of my favorite arcade games of all time. But no, I will have that review out before the next episode for sure. I just got to sit down and watch it. Scott Davis says, yeah, they're animals and I slaughter them like animals. Yeah, that's such a great line, man. I love it. Marco says, yeah, Matt, same. I have access to Disney Plus, but I canceled mine when Gina was let go. I will say this, and thank you for bringing that up. They did mention Cara Dune in the episode. They did say that she's got recruited from a special forces kind of, I don't think they even mentioned who it was, but she got recruited from special forces and she's off doing missions. So they didn't kill her off, which is positive. But, at least we know what she's doing. And I think that was going to lead into her show, right? What she was going to do. And maybe it was missions to go off of Moff Gideon, not Moff Gideon. What's his name? No, I'm horrible with names. Watch me actually. Yeah, I was right for once. The first time I got a name right. Yeah, Moff Gideon is Giancarlo Esposito. Again, terrible with names. But yeah, Moff Gideon, it'd probably be something along that line, what she was going to be doing. But yeah, they didn't kill her off. Honestly, at this point, I think they should, if they want to keep her character, just recast her, because I know a lot of people would be upset about that, but I mean, there's no way, and that people are now speculating rumors like she's going to come back. Why in God's name would she even want to? If they even asked her, why would you? Like, if the company's that terrible to work for, why would you want to come back? There's no way. And she spoke out a lot, so I can imagine that they wouldn't want her back anyway. But even if they did ask her, I would tell them to kick rocks. There's no way. At this point, they should, if they want to continue her character and they want to keep it alive, just recast it for the people that like the show. And, but, there again, I saw a lot of rumors for people like, oh, well, because they have her alive, they kept their character alive. Maybe she'll come back down, but there's no way. I cannot see Gina Carano coming back. And like I said, the character's alive, right? She's still running around doing it. If she's going to show up in the future, which she was kind of an important character, she seemed like she was building more momentum in the show. They're going to have to bring her back at some point. So you're either going to recast her or you're going to have to kill her off while she's off screen. So maybe they can RIP Wade it, Yeah, they said she was recruited by special forces to do something because when he goes to see Carl Weathers' character, again, I don't remember his name, he was trying to recruit Din Djarin to stay and help enforce the rules of the town. And he was like, well, why don't you ask Cara Dune? Like, where's she at? And they mentioned that she's got recruited to go do these other missions. So, yeah, Candies, says, yeah, Gina won't, but I like the character. Yeah, I thought her character was good. Like I said, I don't think, I'm being honest here, Gina Carano is not like the best actress in the world, which I don't think any of us argued that. But she was good. She was decent. It wasn't like she wasn't the worst character. She wasn't the worst actress in the world. But I did like Cara Dune's character. It was good to see where you did have strong women characters, but they weren't, overlooking the other characters. They didn't make the other characters look stupid. You know what I mean? Like, it was a solid rounded character for the most part. And I could say the same thing for some of these other characters that were in here. I think the only one, maybe Bo-Katan, kind of has that like boss thing going on, but not the worst. It's not, nothing stood out too much, Marco says, Matt, question. Jon Favreau wrote the part for her especially, with them saying that line. Jon Favreau was very pissed off that she was not renewed. Maybe down the road, Jon had to change so much. Yeah, I remember hearing that like that part and that whole role was for her. So I don't know. Maybe she'll come back, but I just don't know if she would, based on like maybe because I know she's from the Daily Wire, that interview. I did see pieces of it. She's very good friends with the people that are like Jon Favreau and a lot of them. So maybe she does it as a favor to them. I don't know. I just think there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of politics involved, right? Remember, they wanted her to sit through those struggle sessions instead of talking it out like she wanted to. They wanted her to sit down and kind of like what James O'Keefe went through with Project V, the struggle session stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if she would come back. And based on that, because that's a very good point, I don't know if they would recast her because that role was specifically for her. So who knows? Maybe she just never comes back again. Or like I said, maybe they kill her off. They could say she got killed in a mission or something. Who knows? Twigs, what's up, man? Says, remember the Scooter Gang and Boba Fett? Those were those are definitely special. All right, those are special. Yeah, that was so rough, man. Holy hell. When they what's her name? Boba Fett's sidekick, the girl, which I actually liked that character, but they did that strong. They kind of made Boba Fett look stupid for her. They made her guts and all her insides robotic. Ugh, the Scooter Gang is really, really bad. Have you not seen the Scooter Gang of what we're talking about? Man. So, yeah. I mean, all this COVID stuff's coming out now, and she was kind of right. So, yeah, maybe. Jeffrey says, I mean, did you all not watch her Daily Wire movie to support her cause? I don't pay for the Daily Wire, so I didn't see the movie. I honestly looked really good because I love Westerns. Westerns, I really enjoy Western movies, but I'm not a big fan of the Daily Wire. So I wasn't going to pay for the Daily Wire to see that movie, unfortunately. So, yeah, I support her, but I'm not a fan of the people over at the Daily Wire or the Daily Wire, so I wasn't going to do it. So just like I'm not going to pay Disney, I'm not going to pay Daily Wire. Candies, I will bring up the scooters here in a minute. If you have high tolerance for cringe, check out the Scooter Gang. Hang on, I'll pull up a picture real quick. It is the funniest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. They were called the Mods. That's what it was. I forgot. God. This was listen, as bad as this show was, it was funny. It was so funny to mock this. So these were the Scooter Gangs, and this is what they were driving around on Tatooine. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Don't forget, for you members out there, I know Candies, you're a couple of them, you have your custom emojis. And you have, Leonardo DiCaprio laughing. I think I added one with Tom Cruise laughing. These are hilarious. This is so bad. This whole scene was terrible. Look, that's the full, it does not fit Tatooine whatsoever. Tatooine is supposed to be like dirty and gritty, and then these weird colored things, Vespas, that's what everyone was referring to, were out, and it was just, I don't know. Very, very crazy. Yeah, it was not a good time. It was fun though. Like I said, it was fun to rip on it, but yeah, it was so cringe. The spinning shooting that they did, it was really, really freaking bad. Scott says, "Oh, this is Matt's revenge for all the evil dies tonight." Evil dies tonight. God, that freaking movie. Holy hell. Jerry says, again, it's the Power Rangers of Star Wars. Yeah, man. I mean, it was rough looking. Like I said, it's hard to defend that stuff. That was so bad. And it looked just like Power Rangers. I mean, all the same colors and everything. Very, very bad. And yeah, it was really rough to watch, you know. Twig says, but you're right. It was easily mockable. So many things today are just straight up ass to the point of unfunny, unmockable. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like even with Obi-Wan, a lot of people were pissed off about Obi-Wan and how that worked out. And again, it was a bad show, but I laughed my ass off during Obi-Wan. And it was sad because Obi-Wan is such a important character to so many people, but I already knew that they were not going to do Obi-Wan justice. I just knew it because they're not capable. They're not capable. And these people don't care about the legacy characters as much as they do about new characters. And you could see that in the production value of how they did Andor. Like I said, a lot of props to Andor, man. It was expensive. You could see there was love and passion, the production value, everything was scaled up. Like it was so well done in that sense. Some of the writing wasn't good and it was slow, you know, and a lot of those differences kind of threw off Andor for me personally. But, you know, if they put that much love and affection into Obi-Wan could have been a fantastic episode or show, and they completely wrecked it. They completely destroyed it. They do not care about the OG characters whatsoever. I think kind of they want to diminish the OG characters and they want to build around their characters, and for rightfully so, because I don't know if this is accurate, so don't hold me to this, but my understanding is the more that they use OG characters, they still have to pay some type of rights to George Lucas every time they use them. That's what I'm understood to be, or how it works. I don't know if that's true, so I have no idea. It would make sense, and that's why they don't like using the OG character so much, but you know, I don't really know. I haven't heard your opinion on Indiana Jones, but I can already guess your take on it. It's I don't know. Like the trailers look rough, only because you got time travel involved. So I don't really know. Time travel movies are hard to pull off, and the CGI looks decent from what I saw. I know they're still working on it. Apparently, I heard there's a bunch of reshoots from rumors, but again, that's rumor. I don't know. I don't really have a desire to see Indiana Jones only because I loved 1, 2, and 3. The fourth one, Crystal Skull, I didn't care for. I thought the trilogy was the perfect ending. So I don't know. I really don't know. I'm probably going to go see it because it's an Indiana Jones movie, and I really do like Indiana Jones. I've seen them all in theater, you know, like obviously not when Indiana Jones, the originals came out, but I've seen them where they replay them in theaters and stuff. So I would like to go see the new one. I don't have very high hopes though, but I don't know. I have no idea. I've heard a lot of bad things, like rumor wise, like I said, reshoots, you got time travel involved. You have a lot of CGI, and the problem that I have with CGI is a lot of this stuff just looks like really bad cutscenes from like PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. If I want to watch PlayStation 5 stuff, I'll play a video game. That was the great thing about The Last of Us. Those cutscenes were great, and then I could play the game. I don't want to go sit in a movie theater and make it look like a video game to me. So again, I don't know. There's a couple inconsistencies that I've seen so far where, and again, this is based off of the trailers and what people are interpreting. So I just going off of that. What James Mangold is supposedly saying is that this Indiana Jones is kind of worn down and kind of like a grouchy old man, kind of like, I don't really, you know, just kind of cynical is my understanding, is how it seems, is what they've said that he might play the Indiana Jones as. And the problem that I have with that is that the guy has seen like the Holy Grail. He's seen a lot of things in his life that would give him hope and inspiration of like beyond our humanly world and all that. So it'd be hard for me to believe that that's how he actually is. Again, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. The trailers, you know, the music's there and everything, but I just think because it's so heavily CGI and Harrison Ford's just so old, he looks worn out. So I don't know. It may be a good movie. I'm not writing it off. it's going to be an expensive movie. They said, I think this is the most expensive Lucasfilm movie they've ever made, which is, that's something if that's the case. So I don't know what the budget is. I have no idea, but it's going to have to make a lot of money. And the only thing I'm worried about right now is I don't think there's really that much hype for it. I don't really hear that many people like talking about it all the time, you know? So I don't know. I have no idea. But as of right now, I want to go see it. Am I going to be like a first day release kind of? No. I'll probably wait to see what some of the reviewers say, you know, and what all that is. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know the CGI is because of the de-aging. I know it, and it's a lot of it's time travel. That he's going back in time, and he's chasing something because it's the Dial of Destiny, I believe, is what it's called. So yeah, they had to do a lot of de-aging stuff, and you know, I guess we're just gonna have to see how it turns out. I know, like I said, the last rumor I heard is that they still have 2 or 3 like CGI studios or the VFX studios still working on it now. Like there's a lot of work that they're still doing. They're doing a lot of time crunching to get it done in time. So just gonna have to wait and see. I don't know. Let me see. Get back here. Marco says the biggest reason I don't want to see Indiana Jones is because of yeah. I know she has a lot riding on it. Like that's my understanding is after this is she wants to step away because she wants to finish her career with Indiana Jones. So we'll see. I don't know if it may be really good. I don't know, but the original Indies to me are the best. Yeah, the Crystal Skull was awful. Dear God, it was terrible. And just like I refused to watch the new National Treasures. Yeah, I think it was a show, wasn't it? I had no desire to. Like I said, that's the thing with the reboots and stuff. Like, just watch the originals; they're the best. I don't like the newer stuff. But the only movie that's coming out fairly soon, like I said, Guardians of the Galaxy, I do want to go see that one. I'm definitely seeing for sure. I know next month or in the next couple days, the next Scream is coming out, and I love the Scream franchise. Now, I don't think the Scream is going to be very good. I don't think it's going to be as good as the ones from the past, but it's Scream. I love them, and I'm going to go see it. It's probably going to be bad. I think I already know the plot and what happens, but that'll be something that I get to review. And then there's a couple, I can't think of some other movies that are coming out soon. I was going to go see Cocaine Bear and do a review, but then I heard really, really bad reviews of it. And again, I don't want to go and waste my time at a movie theater. So I don't, you know. Yeah, Scream is I've heard it's supposed to be a really good. I've heard it's going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be good. But the fact that it's based in New York kind of scares me. They're saying this is supposed to be the most like, you know, deadliest ghost face ever, which who knows, right? I have no idea, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Jeffrey Moore says, I love how, according to some, Kathleen Kennedy was supposed to be gone like 5 years ago. She's not going anywhere. I agree. I never believe that. I think this woman's going to leave when she wants to. Like, I think she's going to stay as long as possible. Why wouldn't she? Just collect that check. And again, even for the people that say that Kathleen Kennedy is going to leave, for every Kathleen Kennedy there's 5 more behind her. There are 5 more. Just like everyone was all excited about the CEO of YouTube stepping down, Mama Susan. The guy right behind her is probably going to be just as bad. It's going to be just as bad as her. It's the same thing. They're not going anywhere. It's, you know. Night Run says it's not that good. John Wick 4 is coming out. Chris Core gave it a thumbs up. I like the John Wick series. I have to rewatch them though, so because I am so far behind on them. I remember 1 and 2 fairly clear, like enough. The third one is spotty, so I'm gonna have to watch that again. What's up, Pops? What's going on? Late to the party. Hail to you all. Yeah, I think you were streaming on. I thought I saw an alert before I went live or as I went live that you were on X-Wing streams. That's awesome. If you guys aren't following Pops, you need to go check out his channel, especially if you like comics and stuff. Pops does really good reviews. Comic book knowledge is there. So yeah, go check out his channel. Pops on Pops. Pops. Let me pull it up because I'm screwing it up, Pops. This is my shout out to you, and I screwed up. Terrible. At Pops on Pop Culture. Right. Yeah, I need. You know what, Pops? Actually, sorry, my dog's dreaming and she's growling. So literally, she's over there growling in her sleep. If you hear that, so yeah, at Pops. I'm trying to. There you go, Pops. I think I have you as a moderator now. So if you want to put a link in, drop your link in there. And that way, if you're not subscribed to Pops, go check out his channel. Does good things. Especially one thing I like about his channel, he's been doing Saturday morning cartoons. I was just talking about this not too long ago before he started his series. I love the Saturday morning cartoons, the Batman animated series, Superman animated series, X-Men, the old Spider-Man back in the 90s. Those were some great freaking cartoons. And Pops has been taking me down memory lane to where I'm like, I got to go watch these episodes because I haven't seen them in forever. And he just, listen, if you love nostalgia, if you love things of the old and back in the day, go check out his channel. Like I said, he does even modern stuff too. But yeah, great channel. So I highly, highly recommend it. But yeah, like I said, just so you guys know what's coming out on the channel here, the road to 2K is coming along. Let's see where I'm at. Almost there. For the members, I have the Soylent Green review is coming out. There you go, Pops. There's his channel link. So if you can, go subscribe. He would appreciate it. His road to 2K is we're about neck and neck. So but no, it's really fun over there. But I got Soylent Green coming out. That was a great sci-fi movie, older one, Charlton Heston. I'm going to admit I did not anticipate liking it. I didn't expect it. I saw it and I was like, I don't know, we'll see. I enjoyed it. It was really good. Great twist. I'm going to have that review out for you guys soon. A lot of my channel members recommended that to me, so I'll have that out for you guys. Like I said, I got the Last of Us review coming out. I got to finish up that episode. I have been saying this forever. Oh, here. Pop says, regarding the cartoons, I added some retro commercials last week. For this week, the copyright flagged a raisin. Oh, man, that sucks. The old commercials, though, take you back for sure. That's the thing that sucks about the copyright stuff, man. I hate that. Oh, I dread it all the time. All the freaking time. But yeah, like I said, I have been saying this forever that I am doing an Orville review, and I am starting to work on that this week. I'm going to do a full season review. I know I've been saying it, like I said, now that I have my PC and I am able to do the things I want to do because I want to do it right. And before I couldn't use clips because my computer sucked and all that. So now that I got this baby in line, I can start doing a lot more things. Like I said, I'm going to start doing some more, working on some intro stuff, some outro stuff. You know, a lot of different things I can do now because I have a PC capable of handling that. Like I said, I want to do some watch parties, especially for members. We can watch some older movies together. So that'll be something to look up to. So that's where I can actually plug my memberships. If you want to be a member, memberships are available, fairly cheap and reasonable. You could hang out. We do our member streams every Sunday, not Saturday, every Sunday afternoon. I normally did them at 11, but I pushed them to 12 in the afternoon to give people some time to wake up because it is Sunday. So 12 Eastern. We talk about all kinds of things. Last week, what did we even talk about? God, my brain is mush. We went over Bill Murray movies. We talked about Bill Murray movies. Tom Hanks is going to be one of them that we're going to do down the road. Before that, we talked about Terminator versus Terminator 2. We did discussing best sci-fi police movies. So my members get to decide, or help me decide rather, what we talk about. And we talk about good stuff like Soylent Green, which is a great movie. Orville here. It's coming. Pops, I'll actually have you on the stream one day if you want. We can talk about, we can kind of run through. Sundays at noon Eastern. Twig says, I liked Orville. I haven't seen the most recent season yet. Yeah, I'm the same way. I watched season 1 and I stopped watching it because until I did my review, I didn't want to blend the two other seasons. So I heard they're just as good. So I'm excited to do the review for you guys. like I said, I don't want to spoil it, but I'll go over. I really enjoyed the whole season. I'll go over my favorite episodes. Obviously, Norm Macdonald is in it as the little booger guy. What's his name? Horrible with names. You guys know this by now. But love Norm Macdonald. He's like one of my favorite comedians of all time. Yes, Soylent Green was awesome. A lot of things you can compare to today to Soylent Green. Kind of scary, but pretty cool at the same time. Charleston Heston was great. The acting was great. Like it was very well done. I was very surprised. And like I said, I got a lot of other movies I want to do down the road too. There you go. Yaffet. I always screw up that name. Well, that name's odd. You guys can't hold me to the standard of names with something like Yaffet. Soylent Green. I went on my Roku because I have Roku stick and I searched Soylent Green and I don't even know what the app was called, but it was free on the app. So I downloaded the app on the Roku stick and it plays all kinds of old movies. All the old monster movies are on there. I don't know what it's called, but if you look it up on a Roku stick or something, you could probably find it for free somewhere. This movie was, I think, was it late 60s, 70s, maybe 70s? '73. That's what it was. Yeah, Charleston Heston, 1973, Soylent Green. Like I said, if it's older, you're gonna look at it, you're gonna go, but it's pretty cool. It's based in 2022, I think was the year, or 2020. It's either 2022 or 2020. Based in New York. It's wild. Pluto has on. Oh yeah. Pluto's a really good one. Tubi's a good one. They have a lot of old stuff on there. But yeah, like I said, I want to start reviewing older movies along with the newer stuff. They Live is a fantastic movie. First off, Rowdy Piper, can't go wrong there. John Carpenter, They Live. John Carpenter's one of my favorites. Fantastic movie. Love They Live. Yeah, I'll have to do a review on that too. That's probably worth a live stream in itself, going over They Live. But so is John Carpenter's The Thing. I've talked that into the ground how much I love that movie. But like I said, I got a lot of good movies that I want to come out. Jeffrey Miller says, question, why do you delete your live streams right after every time? I don't delete them. I put them in a playlist on the channel. So if you go to the front of the channel or in the playlist, they all live there. The reason why I don't leave them open, like just out there, is because YouTube's weird. They hurt your algorithm. They hurt your channel by them being out there, because everything in YouTube, you have like click rate, watch time, all that stuff affects your channel. So when you have like a 2-hour live stream, somebody clicks on it and they watch 10 minutes of it, and then they don't watch the rest of it, that affects you. And then it affects the process, or it affects the rest of your videos. So that's why I unlist them. But they are still, none of them ever get deleted. If you go into my playlist, they're there. Or if you go to the homepage of my channel, there should be a little section there where they all live. So yeah, they never go away. Even like I said, my playlists, if I pull it up real quick, I have tons of playlists on there. The Last of Us broken down. I have all my, if you're a channel member and you've missed out on stuff, or if you become a channel member now and you want to watch older stuff I've done, there's literally a playlist for just channel member stuff. My Monster Mania stuff that I did, which if you like horror movies, that was so much fun. That is going to be something that I will be doing every single year during Halloween. Just my mini little reviews of my horror movies. That's a playlist there. So yeah, I break things down in playlists. But that's why I unlist the live streams, is because it kind of hurts the channel, unfortunately. That long fight scene is a bit much though. Yeah, it was like a really long wrestling match for sure. I think They Live will be yeah. So Twigs, Pops, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's either a Monday or a Tuesday evening. He has a show, like mine is called the Thursday Night Rundown. He has Talk Hard, where it's him, Ironcaster, and someone else. Let me know in the chat. They go on there and they discuss movies in particular. Talk Hard, I love his show. It's very informative. Those guys go into it in depth, and it's a really good time. Like I said, I would go check out his channel. He has all those available, and yeah, it's a really, really really good show to watch. Like I said, I do my Thursday night rundown where, I run down all the topics of the week that I want to talk about. And then the last tailing ending of this is just us kind of talking about whatever. Tuesdays. So Pops' Talk Hard is Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. That's who it was. Stone Loki and Ironcaster. Yep. Yeah, Pops is great channels. Yeah, Twigs. If you enjoy my stuff, you'll enjoy Pops. Especially, like I said, if you like anything comic book related, Pops is very, very knowledgeable comic books. So that's the guy to ask. Him and MVP, Max Von Priestley. I recommend you check him out too. Very knowledgeable in comic books. This week's Talk Hard is 300. Okay, that's a good one. I was just talking about 300, how that was such a good movie. I really enjoyed it. Did very well for its time. I think it held up well. And Pops agrees with me on this. I think you can have a really, really good movie, but rewatchability is really what matters, in my opinion. If you can watch that movie 5, 6, 7 times, you have a killer movie. There are some really good movies out there that I can't watch more than once. They're just hard to watch, So Twigs says, I'm new to comic books, looking more at the back catalogs. Got to find some entertainment with the death of new media. You're right where I'm at, my friend, because I'm doing the same thing. I am looking and going back to old comics of back in the day, looking at old classic stories. Pops is hooking me up with some older Superman stories. Couple other old comic books that I have that I'm looking for. I just look for the old stuff because the stuff of new today is not where it's at. Like with Star Wars, personally, I'm getting more into the EU books. I've been collecting them for a while. I just got to start reading them. And that's what I'm going to start doing, is just start reading the books because they're fantastic. I've read a couple of them. Everything that I've read has been really good. So I don't see why current day Star Wars just doesn't pull from the EU directly. Like you can word for word take it. Spider-Man in a wheelchair. Yeah. I don't recommend that one, but there's definitely some good ones out there. The legacy of 300 has surpassed the quality of the film. Absolutely. Yep, I agree. Good actors in it. It was different for its time. Zack Snyder's slow-mo kind of today, I'm tired. It works for 300. For the other movies now, I'm just like, I'm done with the slow-mo stuff. But I am looking forward to his Rebel Moon. I think Rebel Moon's going to be really good. It's going to be his Zack Snyder's version of Star Wars. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be different, which I always love new and interesting things. Like that's what we need more of. You can crap on Zack Snyder all you want with the way he does things. At least he's trying to bring new things, new ideas to the forefront. Rebel Moon sounds like a new, interesting idea. So I'm all about it. I want something different and new, not just rehashing of all the old. Hopefully it turns out well. It could be absolute garbage and just a big, giant slow motion fest, and it could be terrible. I don't know, but Twig says Spartacus the show is good, inspired by 300. That, and then Justin is Lost always tells me about that one Viking show. It's not Vikings though. It's called something else. I completely forget about it all the time. I've watched 2 seasons of it, but again, I'm horrible with names and I don't remember it. It's on Netflix. They're about to come out with a movie, the direct to Netflix movie, and it's supposed to be a really good series. I just got to finish it because I think it has 5 seasons total, and I've watched 2 of them and they were really interesting. I got caught up doing this stuff and watching reviews, and sometimes you can't watch. There you go. What's up, man? How's it going? Geek Talk. Appreciate it. He's got another good channel too, guys. If you want to check out reviews and stuff, he does gaming too with Fortnite and everything. So I would check that out. But yeah, The Last Kingdom. Last Kingdom is a great show. Yeah, you and Justin talk about it all the time. The Last Kingdom is a very, very good show. Like I said, I got 2 seasons in. I want to finish the rest of it. I just have not had time. But Jeffrey, not that Justin is lost. Yeah. Justin's a good dude. Justin's a good friend of mine. So, but yeah, I suck at Fortnite. Yeah. I used to hate Fortnite. Absolutely hated that game. Oh my God. Like it annoyed me and aggravated me to no end. But then when No Build came out, I tried it. I actually enjoy it. It's not that bad. It's not, obviously, if you want to break from a realistic game, Fortnite's great because it's kind of more laid back versus like Insurgency Sandstorm or something where it's like one shot, one kill. And those people play for hours on end. It's that meme when I just want to relax and play a game for 10 minutes, but then you're playing against kids that play for like, 48 hours straight, and it's like their career. So it sucks. No Build is tolerable. Absolutely. When I played it the first time, like someone introduced, and then I just see I'm shooting at somebody and then this giant tower built, I just put the controller down. I was like, this ain't for me. I'm old school, man. I'm an old dude. I'm not, I'm not gonna, no, like just duck and cover, find cover, go prone, do something. Don't build a wall like a magician. Sorry. Not for me. Marco says, he pitched the Rebel Moon to Lucasfilm back in the day and they turned it down. So he rewrote this version coming out. I did agree. I did hear that. I know he was supposed to do something with Lucasfilm and they're like, nah, we don't want it. So this is kind of his sticking it to them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, a couple of horror movies are coming out that I'm looking forward to. Scream's going to be good. A couple others I forgot. But I know that are on the horizon. I think around April, April and March timeframe. I know there are going to be some decent movies coming out. So I'll get to revisit the theaters again. I miss going to the theaters. It'll be fun. But I guess I'm going to wrap it up because we're almost at the 2-hour mark. So thank you guys for hanging out with me during the Thursday Night Rundown. It's always a blast. To my members. Oh, that's right. Before I go, Evil Dead looks awesome. The new Evil Dead looks fantastic. I'm really excited about it. If you like gore, if you like real horror, like really intense horror, go check out Evil Dead. The trailer is nuts. It's like the Red Band trailer is crazy. The video game is pretty cool too. I did mess around with that. It looks really fun. But yeah, I would check out Evil Dead if you like horror. But thank you all, Marcos, for being here. I appreciate that. The super chats. Jeffrey Miller, my favorite hater of all time. I appreciate the super chat and super sticker. Soul Assassin, where's Yeti and the other sidekick? Yeah, I was going to have him on, but I told them I was talking about Star Wars, and they were like, no thanks. So they do not like Star Wars, so they bailed on me. But I'm going to have them on the channel soon. Like I said, I'm going to have a lot more guests on the channel for the Thursday Night Rundown. I'm going to be reaching out to people. Maybe I'll get the Flacids on here. That'll be fun. I got to get MVP Max Von Priestley on here. I got to get Pops back on here. So, like I said, I'm doing more collaborations with some other YouTubers, reaching out to them, and just kind of build the channel a little bit, and see if we can get some other voices on here to talk about. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. But again, for all my channel members, I appreciate you all. For everyone just subscribers, Scott Davis, Geek Talk, all you guys, Soul Assassin, everyone who hangs out every single week, I appreciate you guys watching, being subscribers and supporting the channel. Twigs, all you guys, Jeffrey Miller, even, I appreciate you all very, very much. Have a good weekend. Have a good Friday. Stay safe. And I will catch you all very, very soon. So take care, and I'll talk to you then.